what is the concept of peace in spirituality. Is peace absence of noise? No. Peace in Indian philosophical systems and spiritual practices is the highest value, ultimate goal. Permanent, unbroken, and unconditioned peace is the highest state a human being could achieve. What are the major barriers on the path of eternal peace? Every moment of our life, whether mental, verbal or physical, is being impelled by eternal search for immortal peace. Every single desire of ours is a ripple, a disturbance in the infinite ocean of pure and peaceful existence that is non-dual, and that each one of us are essentially heading towards. But the man's quest for eternal peace as understood through a rational mind takes him or her in the external world. Every single desire that is a ripple of restlessness within you is begging, seeking its fulfillment, and that in turn takes you invariably to the external, physical, gross, visible, phenomenal world of duality. Just ask this question: have you ever desired? Do you ever wish, even for a moment, anything that is not external, that is not gross? And average human mind, impelled by ego and ignorance, necessarily takes you to external world, takes you to external world for its fulfillment. Your desire for wealth, your desire for love, your desire for bliss and beauty, your desire for power, all these desires, as you understand, seek their fulfillment in the external, material, visible, gross objects of the objective world. To put simply, this peace we are seeking through fulfillment of our desires is always in the external domain, in the external world. Ask this question, very fundamental question, but even a small child can ask this question, even an illiterate person can ask this question, and this question, if you ask honestly, it would revolutionize your concept of yourself, your life. Have you ever, and just remember 24 hours that you spent previous 24 hours or a week, did you desire, did you seek, did you wish for anything that is not in the external world? Every single moment of yours is a search for some or the other thing available, supposedly available in the external world. And you are running after, hankering after one or the other object in the external world. Not only physically, the mind too is incapable of thinking anything beyond the external material gross world. Just explore one thing. Ask your own mind to think for a moment. I am not asking you to think for the 24 hours or coming entire week. No. Ask and suggest your own mind to not think of the external world, for just 1 minute and think about something that is beyond or outside the realm that we normally call this objective world. The mind by nature doesn't know anything other than this external gross material phenomenal world. And mind is the master of your life. Every thought, every word, every act of yours is being governed by that fundamental illusion that all your desires and dreams can be and must be fulfilled in the external world. In other words, the eternal peace, unbroken peace, is available in the availability, in the achievement, in the attainment of the external world. One or the other object of the external world holds key to your peace. That is what, from the day one you descended on this planet till today, is governing your life. And as long as you continue, you allow yourself to be governed by that phantom, that your ultimate peace or supreme bliss. Because peace is a huge concept in spirituality. There is nothing higher. So in every search for happiness, love, beauty, treasure, you are seeking peace alone. And unavailability of that particular object leads to restlessness. So, we are under the illusion that our peace, which is a dynamic concept, complete contentment, complete satisfaction, cessation of all desires alone could lead to peace. If I have desire for a small thing, even a small thing, I immediately become restless. The current modern civilization and its set of diseases, hypertension, blood pressure, and all the other lifestyle caused diseases, are nothing but direct manifestation of the restlessness created within yourself by one or the other unfulfilled desire. Unfulfilled desire creates fever in you. That is what Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Jvara. as long as you have even a small, tiny desire, your entire personality is afflicted with a fever. That is a very subtle fever, mental, psychic fever, restlessness, suffering. That fever doesn't allow you to be peaceful, restful. It's impossible. Never ever anybody has in the history and never ever in future would be a person who would be peaceful in the true sense of the term, and in other words, even blissful, as long as he or she has even a small desire left within him or her. So what to do? Should I kill myself to dissolve my desires? What should I do? You don't have to kill yourself. You don't have to suppress your desires either. Spirituality, especially the Vedanta philosophy, doesn't believe in suppressing your desires. They can't be. All desires and the resultant restlessness, peacelessness is product of ignorance. Ignorance that my love, my happiness, my joy, my glory, meaningfulness to my life lies in attainment of some or the other object in the external world. That is the fundamental problem plaguing our lives. No amount of sacrifices, no amount of renunciation by the greatest of gurus is going to provide peace to you. As long as this fundamental illusion that my desires can be fulfilled only in the external world, as long as this ignorance continues, that is called bondage, that is called, and that is what leads to endless suffering. And right now, it is not a myth, pure science. I am saying not just by the study of the scriptures or Vedanta philosophy. It's my personal, direct, intimate experience, and you too, anyone who has a bit of sincere, honest desire to understand the working of your own mind. Never ever any of your desires have ever been fulfilled. I am making a bold statement as far as you and every person is concerned. You come to believe that, oh, this particular desire of mine now has been satisfied. I have got that particular object. This is the greatest illusion. No desire ever can be satisfied in the external world, let me tell you. That is the biggest problem. There are people, they are having emperors in the world. Alexander, he conquered almost half of the world. And you must have heard his stories and all that. Did he manage to fulfill his desires? There are people even today, very rich people, the richest, you know the list of the 10 richest people of the world or the biggest transnational corporations, the money, huge money and wealth they do have. Go and ask them, have they fulfilled even a single of their desires? That is the catch. And average human being doesn't understand that catch. Your desires are not essentially going to be fulfilled in the external world. Why? Your desire to drink water to satisfy your thirst and your desire to satisfy your hunger by eating food is a common sense intelligence. But is it possible for you to quench your thirst for water by eating bread or rice or staple diets? And similarly, is your hunger for food going to be satisfied by drinking water? Here is the catch. We are unable to understand what is our desire, fundamental desire, or set of desires. Due to illusion and ignorance, we think that whatever we are desiring is available in the external world. Never ever, essentially, if you go deeper within, you have desired anything which could be fulfilled in the external world. You desire eternity. Your desire is for immortality. Your desire is for unconditional, ever-present love. And you are always seeking that love in the conditioned one. The ephemeral one. The desire for unconditioned and eternal cannot be fulfilled by providing the conditioned and ephemeral one. Your desire is for infinite bliss, happiness and joy. And what are you providing yourself with in order for satisfying that? You are providing, and every moment of your life trying to provide some palliative, temporary band-aid in momentary, ephemeral objects which appear to provide some sense of soothing impact, some happiness, some joy, pleasure. Your desire for pleasure, joy, happiness and bliss is never going to be fulfilled in the external world simply because external world doesn't exist. All desires within you are essentially an indicator, a message to you to become what you are ultimately. Every desire, every vasana within you is a clarion call to you to fulfill it. Fulfill it with total honesty, sincerity, with scientific and rational approach, not mythology, belief and blind belief. Analyze that. How am I going to satisfy all my desires? My desire for love, my desire for happiness, my desire for bliss and beauty. You have been told that they can't be satisfied. It's the biggest lie. It can be, and if it is not satisfied, you will continue to suffer the loss of peace. I'm talking about peace supreme. Why the peace supreme is beloved? My beloved, peace supreme is elusive. Why? Because you are responsible. You don't want to be honest with yourself. You have been taught to be honest with your fellow humans and friends and society, but you have not been taught how to be honest and sincere with yourself. Your honesty with yourself is 1,000 times much more important than your honesty and honest behavior with fellow humans. You have misbehaved and cheated no one as much as you have cheated yourself. Every moment you are cheating yourself, essentially. Those who have managed to fulfill all their desires instantly and attain that supreme peace, unbroken, blissful peace, have told you, and it's all the philosophical systems, spiritual practices have told you, but these are just dead letters in the books. You have never experimented, and there are very few people who have experimented in their lives. So words are not going to make any difference. The Babas and the Gurus and the Masters, just by reading the books, even if you are the greatest master of all the scriptures in the world, you are not going to be able to provide that light which ushers somebody's life into that supreme peace and bliss. Where is that supreme peace, ultimate bliss, eternal contentment? It's ever available. It is not to be achieved. It is not to be attained. It was never lost. It can never be lost. It is an ever-present reality. The fulfillment you are seeking in the external world through enjoying or possessing the ephemeral, momentary, objective world can and must be fulfilled by understanding the reality. The external world doesn't exist. Your desires can be fulfilled in the external world only and only if it does exist. There is nothing called external world. There is nothing called the other. The other is the hell, the other is the myth, the other is the ignorance. There is no other than you. The only thing you have to do is stop looking towards the other for your fulfillment of your desires. All your desires can be permanently fulfilled only and only when you take a U-turn at 180 degrees. Just you have to take a U-turn, and there lies the eternal treasure trove which can fulfill and which instantly fulfills. That in common parlance is called the journey within, the inner journey. Taking a U-turn from the journey external towards the journey internal. Journey internal alone is journey eternal and immortal. Journey external is ephemeral, mortal, illusory, gross. It can never satisfy any of my desires in a meaningful, honest way. No sooner I manage to get one object in the external world to fulfill my desires, another set of desires arise. That's why it's illusory, it doesn't exist. But the moment you take a turn within, revolution begins. Because the inner or the internal alone is truth. External, that is perceived by your senses, is just shadow, illusion, reflection of the truth within. Internal alone is the light. External is just shadow of that light. Though ordinarily it appears that internally what's there? It's darkness. The truth is exactly opposite. The outside world that is tangible and visible is utter darkness in reality. Once you go deeper within, only then you would be able to realize. Have you ever gone? You have never gone within deeper. You have just seen this and experienced this illusory dream life of external world which doesn't exist. This is your own projection. So the internal is eternal, external is ephemeral, mortal. internal alone is the light, light of consciousness, light of bliss, light of love. The external is the darkness, darkness of misery, darkness of hatred, darkness of fear, darkness of scarcity, darkness of deprivation. External doesn't hold a single key to a single of your desires, a single of your problems. The internal holds the master key. Once you go deep within, you find the master key which can unlock the treasure trove which is infinite. This master key holds the key to the gate wherefrom you enter into the infinite ocean of love and bliss and beauty. And there and then alone your desires get meaningfully fulfilled, satisfied. Your desire for love, bliss and beauty is for every moment. Do you, even for a second, hate beauty, hate love, hate bliss, happiness? No. By nature, every moment you wish to be in love, bliss and beauty. But you have been denied that due to ignorance caused by ego, which projects through mind this illusory external world. Then you take a turn within. That is what formally called meditation. Through meditation, what happens? Is there something invented there, manufactured there? None. Only realized, experienced, which prima facie appeared as an area of darkness, a void, an empty space which appears within. Once you go deeper, you realize that its vastness is full of bliss. That pure awareness within me is all in all. All the beloveds of the world, all the lovers of the world, present in the past and projected in the future, they spring out from there and there alone. Right within my heart, all the lovers and beloveds, the most beautiful women and the most handsome men, the most intelligent intellectuals and the most genius minds, the greatest warriors, all these are just separate and different and varied rays of my own pure awareness. Is consciousness. So the journey within alone is capable of fulfilling your desires permanently, meaningfully. That state is called self-realization or God realization or liberation or enlightenment. These things and these words make no sense unless and until you realize that supreme nature of yours, whereby you are all in all, you lack nothing, you need nothing. then why and how are you going to have any desire for? And if you don't have desire for anything, there is no question of any restlessness. Your peace becomes unbroken. In that state alone, the peace is possible. And that peace alone is the supreme achievement of your life. Each one of us wants to succeed in his or her life. All these successes we are seeking are so ephemeral, petty. The meaningful success is only one, and each one of you would agree with that. That success alone is permanent success, meaningful success, whereby if I succeed once, there nothing remains to be successful about. That whereby whatever is achieved, thereafter nothing remains to be achieved. Whereby whatever is available for enjoyment, the love and bliss and beauty that is available for enjoyment and experience, whereafter no love, no bliss, no beauty remains to be enjoyed and experienced. In that state, the supreme peace dawns. In the state of complete desirelessness, because the state of desirelessness signifies the sense of lacking, worthlessness. And you are full of the full, whole of the whole, all in all. In your true nature, unless and until you realize that you are full of the full, whole of the whole, all in all, desire will continue. No matter how many gurus and masters will continue to teach you to suppress your desires by one or the other methods, even by meditation or various yogic practices, it's all stupidity. Vedanta doesn't believe in that. The true fulfillment of your desires and the true unbroken infinite peace and bliss is attained only and only by knowing your true nature, and after knowing that true nature, you realize that there is no other than me than what I am going to desire for. If there is nothing other than me that exists, what I am going to desire for? Because I, as pure awareness, am infinite, and my nature is bliss. Bliss means unconditioned love, everlasting beauty, eternal blissfulness, happiness, uncaused, effortlessly. I don't have to work for a moment of happiness in your life. Even a tiny second of sensory pleasure requires efforts, money, energy, time, resources. That's why it's conditioned. It will continue to make you and keep you in a beggary mode until and unless you realize that the emperor within, emperor of emperors within, of the nature of pure awareness, which alone appears as the self of all, my beloved, for whom I have been running after I now realize, oh, she is right here. Paramhansa Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, the self, the pure awareness alone is the supreme beloved of all. The external lovers and beloveds we are running after and hankering after, it's in the illusion. They are not available, they become available momentarily. They are shadow. Unless and until you get hold of that supreme beloved, that Atman, the pure awareness, the self, which is ever present right now. That alone illumines, reveals every moment of our experience, and still you are unaware about that. So, to put simply, spirituality or the path of and search of truth is not denial of love, happiness, bliss and glory. It's instead, it's a real search for the real love, real beauty, real bliss. I, as a sannyasi, have not sacrificed, I will never sacrifice my search for love, bliss and beauty. Whatever I have sacrificed and I have to sacrifice is the ignorance alone has to be sacrificed, that the love, bliss and beauty and glory I am seeking and I was seeking lies somewhere else. No, that lies within me alone. I alone hold the master key of all the glories, of all the love, all the bliss. None so whatsoever, whosoever I am dependent on. So, continue your journey as you are continuing, that is not a problem. But be a little honest with yourself. You are leading a life of a beggar. When I am using the term beggar in a very deep sense, even if you have billions of dollars, you are the richest man in the world, you are a beggar in my definition, my understanding of Vedanta. You are a beggar. Tell me the richest person in the world who is not thinking, anxious, worried about what is going to happen to my investments in the stock exchange, New York Stock Exchange, Tokyo Stock Exchange, Mumbai Stock Exchange. They are worried. It's conditioned. So, the riches, the glories, the love, bliss and beauty and the power and the immortality, the nectar of immortal bliss, that is your desire. Desire is genuine. That is desire is bona fide. Because intrinsically that by nature you are. Desire for even hankering after the infinite happiness, love, bliss, beauty, glory, richness, immortality, that's not wrong. Absolutely not wrong. In fact, that is the greatest proof of your immortal true nature. The only stupidity and foolishness we under illusion commit is that we are searching all this in the external world. But external world in fact doesn't exist. External world is a dream, and just I'm saying that it's a dream or written in the books, it won't make any difference. Once you go deep within, only then you would realize that it is really a dream. The ecstatic joy and ambrosia of love that begins to fill and drench your existence right here once you go deeper at the center of your existence through meditation, nirvikalpa samadhi, transcendental meditation, that at that core you are whole of the whole, full of the full. You are all in all there, already, always, every moment you are there. But your ignorance and illusion is causing the restlessness, and that restlessness caused by the desire is ever pushing you in the external world, external world, external world. So I am not suggesting you anything. I would just suggest to be an open-minded person. Explore it. If you go in a mall, in a market, you just don't go to one shop. You explore it. There are thousands of shops. You explore, and after experimenting with them, the various products available there, you come to your own conclusion. Have you ever gone within? You have never gone within. Anyone who has gone within, even for very small periods in their lives have begun to revolutionize. So explore it. I'm not saying anything. My saying to you has zero value, other than few instances may inspire you. The exploration and conviction has to come by you. Vedanta tells you that don't believe in anybody else. Don't believe in books. Don't believe in any words. You experiment for yourself. That is possible for yourself. The ultimate glory within yourself, and in this human life is the greatest gift of the God. This human life is the greatest gift of the God. A tiger, a buffalo, a cat, or a dog, or a donkey, or a horse, or a monkey is not capable of realizing that ultimate nature of theirs. The humans alone are programmed. That's why humans, every human being is potentially divine, a potential God. That pure awareness is present even in the animals, but the animal is not going to be able to realize that divine nature of theirs. But we, the humans, right now, right here in this world, can realize our immortal nature, the blissful nature, the omnipotent nature of ours, imperishable mass of bliss, pure intelligence, light. We are, and we are infinite, almighty. Once we realize that, thereby alone, the peace we have been seeking for millions and millions of incarnations will be available. That peace alone is called liberation. That peace alone is called enlightenment or God realization. And that can be and must be attained through self-realization, through the path of knowledge. No amount of charity, no amount of action, no amount of pious deeds are going to make you realize your true nature, and unless and until you realize your true nature, there is no freedom and there is no cessation from the chain of misery and suffering. Therefore, you don't have to do anything. Just go deep within. Just go deep within, and there you realize, every dream of yours, every desire of yours is permanently fulfilled. You attain the supreme peace. That is our ultimate objective. That is our ultimate objective. There alone you are meaningfully satisfied in the state of bliss consciousness. That is our ultimate destiny. It is upon us. Jagat Guru Adi Shankara says, even Lord Krishna says, we are committing suicide. The one who is not going within and realizing the immortality, the eternal nature of himself or herself, he is committing suicide. That is the real suicide. If you don't want to commit suicide, begin the journey within. If you don't begin the journey within, the external journey is a suicide. Howsoever richness, howsoever praise and glory you attain, it's all dream. You die, you disappear. But you attain immortality only and only by realizing your true nature. It's absolutely upon you. Whether you want to commit suicide or you want to become eternal, you want to become immortal. You have, once you have a desire, it will be fulfilled. The rest of the situations, the teacher, the master, and everything will be available. But you must have a strong, intense yearning for that realization of your supreme glory, and that realization of your supreme glory and supreme nature alone is life. The rest is death, a suicide. I wish and pray that you avoid suicide, you avoid death. Right in this flesh and blood, you realize the immortal nature. Within this mortal body, the immortal which is revealing and illuminating every experience of mine, that is my true nature. If I manage to realize and identify myself with that witnessing consciousness, the self, that is life eternal, life immortal. And those who don't realize in this lifetime, they commit suicide, they are miserable. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, they are confusion, misers. They have this tremendous treasure of immortality and still they choose to die. Who would be a bigger stupid or foolish than us if and when we have been provided an opportunity to